Hey, fourth graders, this is Miss Thomas. We're going to be doing a little mini unit on cities of the West. We're going to go through seven major cities in the Western United States, starting with Denver, Colorado, and then going to Salt Lake City, Utah, and then Boise, Idaho. Three key vocabulary words to know as we go through are mint, Mormon, and oasis. Mint, Mormon, and oasis. A mint, you may think of a mint as something that you eat, but a mint in this context is a factory where the government makes coins. So a mint is a factory where the government makes coins. A Mormon is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. A Mormon is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And an oasis is a place in the desert. I'll show you the definition. An oasis is a place in the desert that has water and trees. So we think of a desert as not having water and trees, or not much of it. But an oasis is a place within the desert that does have water and trees. So back to cities of the West. So the key question that I'd like you to think about as we do these three lessons, three videos, is what attracts people to the cities of the West? So you can see this picture is of two rollerbladers in Seattle, Washington. Seattle's a beautiful city in Washington, which is on the Pacific Ocean. What attracts people to the cities of the West? Go west, young man, and grow up with the country. An American author named Horace Greeley wrote these words. He hoped that they would inspire people to leave the big cities of the East and move westward. By the 1850s, these words were heard all over the United States. Americans have been following this advice ever since. Americans have long viewed the West as a place to start new lives. In the 1800s, the West's wide open spaces attracted farmers, miners, and ranchers. These pioneers loaded up their belongings in covered wagons and made the long trek west. A pioneer is someone who is among the first people to settle a region. Pioneers also went west by ship and later on the new transcontinental railroads. The pioneers of the West settled in the mountain ranges, near the ocean shore, in fertile valleys, and in the vast desert. Today, the West still has mines, ranches, and lots of land. It also has lively cities that draw people from around the world. In this lesson, you will learn about 7 of these Western cities. Actually, in this video, just 3 of those cities. In the past, these cities were destinations or stopovers for people moving west. This caused the cities to grow and change. Today, they continue to grow. For each one, you will read about its geography, history, population, economy, and how its residents have fun. As you read, or listen to me read, ask yourself, what is attracting people to the West today? So here's a picture of Denver, Colorado. You can see it. Big tall buildings backed by mountains, very beautiful. So Denver is one of the nation's fastest growing cities. This capital city began as a mining town. And remember, a mint is a factory where the government makes coins. So Denver, Colorado is the capital city of Colorado. It's home to a U.S. mint. A mint is a factory where the government makes coins such as pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. Back in the 1860s, miners brought their gold here. Their nuggets were melted and turned into valuable gold bars. The mint began producing gold and silver coins in 1906. Today, the mint in Denver makes about 50 million coins every day. Geography. Denver sits where the Great Plains meet the Rocky Mountains. It is known as the Mile High City. If you stand on the 13th step of the Capitol building, You'll be exactly 5,280 feet or 1 mile above sea level. Denver has a dry, sunny climate. The city gets snow in the winter. To see how Denver's climate compares with those of other cities in the West, look at the table at the end of the lesson. So there's this handy table at the end of the lesson, which is kind of neat. So it shows Denver, its average temperature of 44 degrees Fahrenheit in January and 89.4 degrees Fahrenheit in July. So it's a 50 degree difference, 55 degree difference, big difference. And then the population is 649,495. So it's up there as one of the top population cities. We're going to be learning about San Jose, California later. So back to Denver. So let's see, we did population. You can see this map too of Denver lying in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, and Colorado itself being not close to the Pacific Ocean. It's sort of in the center of the country, not far from the Midwest. Denver lies in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. So the city's population of Denver is becoming more diverse. About 1/2 of Denver's residents are white, more than 1/3 are Latino, and about 1/10 of the population is African American. Economy. Many people in Denver work for the U.S. government. Many large companies are also located in Denver. Ways to have fun. Denver offers lots of opportunities to have fun. The city has more than 200 parks with trails for cycling, running, and walking. Denver even has a park where a herd of bison lives. So bison are an animal that's similar to buffalo. Denver is the center of professional sports in the Rocky Mountain region. The city's major league teams include the Denver Broncos football, the Colorado Rockies baseball, the Denver Nuggets basketball, and the Colorado Avalanche ice hockey. Every January, Denver hosts a national cattle show and rodeo. So this is a picture of rodeo fans watching cowboys. This is a cowboy, I believe, but watching cowboys and cowgirls compete in events. These include bronco riding, calf roping, and steer wrestling. Sounds really fun and cool. Here's a picture of Salt Lake City, Utah. Again, like Denver, it's a city backed by mountains. Just incredible, incredible beauty. The Wasatch Mountains tower over Salt Lake City. Mormon settlers used irrigation to bring water to this desert-like area. A Mormon, once again, is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So Salt Lake City, Utah. If you stand in the center of downtown Salt Lake City, Utah, you will be in Temple Square. In front of you will be a huge white building, the Mormon Temple. Temple Square has always been the heart of Salt Lake City. The city was started by a group of people called Mormons. Mormons are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Mormons built the city around their temple. The temple itself took 40 years to build. Geography. Salt Lake City is in the north-central part of Utah. It is located in a high valley between the Wasatch Mountains and the Great Salt Lake Desert. The climate in Salt Lake City is dry. The city has warm summers and some snow in the winter. So I'm going to look back at that table at the end of the lesson again. So if you look at the average temperature of Salt Lake City, in January it's cold, 37.4, likely because of its elevation. And then in July, 92.6. This incredible variation in temperature. And then if you look at the population compared to all the other 7 cities, the lowest population of all of them at 191,180. So going back to Salt Lake City. I forget where I was. Oh, I remember now. Back to the table. So the history of Salt Lake City. So Mormons founded Salt Lake City in 1847. They wanted a place where they could freely practice their religion. When they first arrived at the site of the city, it was a desert-like area. The Mormons used irrigation to bring water to the dry valley. They turned the desert into farmland. In the 1880s, Salt Lake City's population more than doubled because of nearby mining. The city grew again during World War II. The government needed metal for ships and planes, so more people came to work in the mines. After the war ended, many wartime workers stayed in the Salt Lake City area. So you can see Salt Lake City, Utah is in the northeastern part of Utah, and that Utah is not bordered by the Pacific Ocean, so it's landlocked like Colorado is. Population. In 2013, more than 190,000 people lived in Salt Lake City. If you include the nearby towns, more than 1 million people live in the area. Salt Lake City's population was once almost entirely white, but it has become more diverse. Whites make up almost 7/10 of the city's population. Latinos are the second largest group at more than 2/10 of the population. African Americans, American Indians, Asian Americans, and Pacific Islanders make up the rest of the population. So this is a picture of people enjoying skiing in the Wasatch Mountains. Hiking in these mountains is popular during the summer months. Economy. Mining is one of Salt Lake City's most important industries. Copper, silver, lead, zinc, coal, and iron ore are all mined nearby. Ways to have fun. The Wasatch Mountains tower over Salt Lake City. They are a wonderful place for hiking and skiing. Because of this, Salt Lake City was chosen as the site of the 2002 Winter Olympics. The city also has many parks. Salt Lake City has two major league sports teams, the Utah Jazz basketball and Real Salt Lake soccer. And our last city for this lesson is Boise, Idaho. You can see those balloons, those hot air balloons over Boise. So beautiful. So Boise was founded as a mining town, and today the electronic industry brings people to this Idaho city. That's important. The electronic industry brings people to Idaho. So it had been mining, now it's electronics. Boise, Idaho. The summer is a fun time to visit Boise, Idaho. The weather is usually warm then. Some people start their day with an early morning hot air balloon ride. Then they might go fishing, hiking, or rafting down a nearby river. So you can see this boy doing some fly fishing on a nearby river to Boise. People also walk or bike along the river that runs right through Boise. You can even float down the river in an inner tube or raft. And many families gather downtown once a week. There, people listen to live music, have picnics, and relax. Geography. Boise is located on the Boise River in southwestern Idaho. So I'm just going to show you the map here. You can see there's Idaho, and it's on the southwestern part of the state, and the state itself borders Canada, so it's very northern. Boise has a dry, sunny climate with some snow in the winter. Boise was founded in 1863 following the discovery of gold in the region. The U.S. government built a fort near the Boise River. The city arose next to the fort. Boise grew rapidly as miners rushed to the gold fields. Many of the miners were immigrants from China. In 1925, the Union Pacific Railroad ran its main line through Boise. This brought even more people to the city. Boise continued to grow in the 1980s when new electronics factories created more jobs. Population. Between 1990 and 2013, Boise's population grew even more, from about 125,000 people to more than 214,000. So I'm going to look at the table again